In today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick comparison of the Galaxy S25 Plus versus the Galaxy A56. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. We have the Galaxy S25 Plus on the left side and the Galaxy A56 on the right side. And of course there's going to be some big differences between these phones, and I'm going to be talking about that right now. First and foremost though, these phones released pretty close together. The Galaxy S25 Plus right here released in February of 2025. And of course the Galaxy A56 released in March of 2025, near the end of March, about March 27th. First and foremost, we're going to start off with the materials used on these devices. The Galaxy S25 Plus actually has a glass back, as you guys can see, and this uses Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and we're going to have an aluminum frame on this device. Going over to the Galaxy A56, we are going to have a glass back as well. It looks very, very nice. And we're going to have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, so we don't have Victus 2 on here, so this is going to be a little less shatter resistant than of course the Galaxy S25 Plus, and we're going to have an aluminum frame on this device as well. So they're both going to be made out of the same materials. I do like the design better on the Galaxy A56, to be quite honest. I think the colors that came out with the S25 Plus do look good, but it's like the Galaxy A50 series always gets these awesome colors right here. So definitely like the design of both these devices, but I do like the style of the A56 a little bit better. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. As far as the resistance, on the Galaxy S25 Plus we have IP68 water and dust resistance, and on the Galaxy A56 we have water and dust resistance IP67. Now for our biometrics, we do have an in-display fingerprint sensor. However, we are going to have the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy S25 Plus and the optical in-screen fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy A56. So the S25 Plus is going to be faster opening your phone than the Galaxy A56. And as you guys can see on the right side of these devices, they're going to be very, very similar. We of course have our volume up and down rocker, and we have our space power button just below that. But as far as like the design on the right side of the device, we do have a key island design on the Galaxy A56. That may feel a little bit better for some people, but I haven't really noticed it all that much. I do like the design though. So we just have that small difference between this and the Galaxy S25 Plus. Now, as far as the size of these displays, they're both going to be 6.7 inches. And that's one of the reasons why I'm comparing these devices together. Starting off with the Galaxy S25 Plus though, we have a 3120 by 1440p display. This is going to be a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio with 513 pixels per inch inside this device. Compared to the Galaxy A56, of course, this device is going to have a 2340 by 1080p display, full HD, 19.5 by 9. But we are only going to have 385 ppi as far as the pixels per inch. I do think that the Galaxy S25 Plus does look more pixel dense for sure. You can definitely notice that. On the Galaxy S25 Plus, we have a dynamic AMOLED display, and on the Galaxy A56, we're only going to have that Super AMOLED display. Still looks very, very good though. And the next thing, one of the biggest differences between these devices, and as you guys can see, I have both of these devices on the highest brightness possible. Which one is brighter? Obviously, the Galaxy S25 Plus is going to be brighter, and that is going to have a peak brightness at 2600 nits compared to 1900 nits on the Galaxy A56. And as you guys can see, it is very, very noticeable. That's definitely something you can see for sure. Both these devices also have a 120 Hz refresh rate. And as far as our screen to body ratio on the S25 Plus, we have slimmer bezels than the Galaxy A56. As you guys can see, when you compare them, it's not going to be an enormous difference, but there is that bezel at the bottom of the display that you can notice, and at the top as well. So we're going to have a 93% screen to body ratio on the S25 Plus and an 88% screen to body ratio on the Galaxy A56. Now, getting into the internals on these devices, the S25 Plus is going to have the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor inside of here. So we have a flagship processor in here. Very, very quick, snappy phone when playing video games and, of course, scrolling through different websites and social media applications. Same thing for the Galaxy A56. It feels really good. However, it does have a much less powerful processor in it, the Samsung Exynos 1580. However, so far for the average person, I feel like this is going to be more than enough power in a phone, especially if you're not a hardcore gamer or anything like that. If you're not constantly gaming and looking at graphic settings and stuff like that, I feel like you may not even need to go to the Galaxy S25 Plus. It may be overkill for a lot of you. For a GPU, we have the Adreno 830 on the S25 Plus, and for a GPU on the A56, we have the Eclipse 540. And we have 12 gigabytes of RAM on the S25 Plus, and we have 8 gigabytes of RAM on the Galaxy A56. As far as the storage in here, the A56 does have 128 gigabytes of internal storage. As far as our base model goes, and the S25 Plus, thankfully, has double that storage. We have 256 gigabytes of internal storage on this device. Both are not going to be expandable, and of course, both these devices release with Android 15. As far as our battery capacity, both of these are very, very similar. The A56 actually has a 5,000 milliamp battery compared to the S25 Plus that only has a 4,900 milliamp battery. As far as like my use with both these devices, they have lasted the full day. And this is probably going to be about a 7-hour, maybe 7.5-hour screen on time for both of these devices. So they're very, very matched. As far as the Galaxy S25 Plus, though, we do have that Qi wireless charging, and we have reverse wireless charging on this device as well. So something that a lot of you may want to use in the future that the Galaxy A56 does not have. I was at Disneyland, and one of my friends was actually running out of her battery life, and I just popped her iPhone on the back of this device and started charging it. So it's definitely a handy little feature inside of there if you really need to use it. If you're in a little crunch, definitely one of the features I do enjoy about this device. Also, 45 watt wired charging on both these devices. Going over to the Galaxy S25 Plus's camera, we have a triple camera setup. Our main camera is going to be a 50 megapixel PDAF camera. This is going to have a secondary 12 megapixel ultra wide, and our third is going to be a 10 megapixel telephoto camera. So that's one of the things that we don't have on the Galaxy A56, getting some more of those details when zoomed in. So of course, this is going to be the better camera overall. This is going to have much better sensors. Of course, we have the Samsung GN3 in here and the Sony IMX564. Going to the Galaxy A56 right here, same 50 megapixel shooter, PDAF. Our secondary camera is going to be a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and our third is going to be a 5 megapixel macro. So no telephoto camera like the Galaxy S25 Plus. However, overall, you're going to get some very, very good image quality with the photos and videos on both these devices. But of course, the Galaxy S25 Plus is going to be unmatched in that arena. The other thing is the S25 Plus is going to have 4K at 60 frames per second. And the Galaxy A56 is only going to have 4K at 30 frames per second. I don't think this is the biggest deal in the world because most people, I feel like, don't use 60 FPS. But if you are someone out there that wants to use 4K 60 FPS, the S25 Plus is going to be the phone for you. And of course, the biggest difference, the MSRP of these devices. When the Galaxy S25 Plus was released, this device was $999. And of course, the A56 has an MSRP of $499. And I'm hoping when it comes to the United States that they drop this price of this phone significantly, maybe to $399, because they said they are going to be dropping this phone soon in the US. I'm not sure how long we're going to have to wait for that. But yeah, half the price of the Galaxy S25 Plus right here. And that kind of brings me to my conclusion. If you guys want the best of the best as far as like the flagship processor, the better camera, the brighter screen, the sharper display right here, and some of the other, more premium features that the mid-range Samsung devices don't have, then go with the Galaxy S25 Plus. This is definitely a great phone. I've really enjoyed it overall. It's not too small. It's also not too big. It feels like it's the perfect size for the majority of people out there. But if you guys don't really need all of those niceties in there, I think the Galaxy A56 is a really great grab right here, especially since it's coming to the United States and we're foreseeably going to be seeing a price drop on this when it comes to the US, only because the Galaxy S24 FE is essentially the same price tag. So let's hope that they drop the A56 at either $399 or $449. I think that'll be a solid price tag for this device right here. But if you don't need all of the greatest premium features in the world, and you don't need the greatest processor and, you know, the greatest experience when it comes to gaming and stuff like that, I feel like this offers the majority of people out there some great stuff. And the majority of people, I don't think, are using all of the power inside of that Snapdragon 8 Elite, to be quite honest. So yeah, Galaxy A56 is definitely going to be the better buy if you guys do want to save some money. You're definitely going to get more power for your money right here, as opposed to dropping $1,000 on a Galaxy S25 Plus and only going on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope that the A56 is going to be seen soon in the US. But we're going to have some more videos on both these devices very soon. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.